Hello everyone and welcome back to another Star Wars figure review. Today we're taking a look at the Remnant Stormtrooper from The Mandalorian. This is another addition to the Black Series 6-inch line, and for my friends over in the US it is a Target exclusive, and here in the UK you can pick this one up via several online retailers such as staractionfigures.co.uk. There is a link down below in the video description if you want to pick up this figure for yourself, and I highly recommend this one. If you love that new Stormtrooper that was released from The Mandalorian towards the beginning of the new packaging phase for the Black Series, then you're going to absolutely love this one as well. It takes that base sculpt, amplifies the dirt and weathering, and really does create a fantastic look for the figure. Now, before we jump into the review itself, I do quickly want to say a massive thank you to everyone who tuned in to my recent collection tour, which was also my 1000th video. I had an absolute blast engaging in conversation with you guys in the live chat during the premiere, and for everyone who's left a comment or tuned into that video, I really do want to say a massive thank you. It really means a lot. As I said in that video, I have been doing these reviews now for just over 13 years, and if it wasn't for you guys who watch, comment and engage with my videos, I wouldn't be doing what I do. So a massive thank you goes out to all of you. Another thank you also goes out to the kind folks over at Hasbro who were kind enough to provide this figure for a review. You may remember, if you follow me on social media, be it Facebook or Instagram, that Hasbro recently sent out a very cool May the 4th Star Wars Day bundle of Black Series goodies, and this figure was in it. So again, a huge thanks goes out to the guys at Hasbro. So without further ado, let's jump into the review itself, and we'll begin as always by taking a look at the packaging this figure comes in. So as you can see, we do get the new standard Black Series packaging design with this figure. We do have that colour-coded call out down at the bottom of the box indicating the movie or the series in which the character appears, and for the Mandalorian you've got this really nice bronze rusty colour going on. Down the side of the box you've got that really cool image of the Remnant Stormtrooper in action, accompanied by the same image on the back of the box, a brief description of the character and the number in the Black Series in which this figure lines up. Now obviously with these packaging designs, the image on the side of the box does line up with other characters from the same series to create a really cool mural, and I've seen some epic displays over on Instagram that use these packaging designs on shelves. So really cool stuff. Love this packaging, and the figure inside is even cooler. So without further ado, let's jump into it and take a look at the Remnant Stormtrooper. So here he is in all his weathered glory, and this is once again a fantastic addition to the Black Series 6-inch line. I was a huge fan of the brand new and updated Stormtrooper sculpt that was recently released in the Black Series, and this figure just amplifies it by 1,000. You know, it takes the weathering and the dirt and grime to a whole other level, and it really does add so much depth and realism to this figure. Now, one thing I really like about not only the figure but the Remnant Stormtroopers that we see in The Mandalorian is the fact that during the original trilogy we don't really get to see Stormtroopers get their armour dirty. Obviously, you know, during the Death Star scenes in A New Hope, the majority of the scenes throughout the original trilogy, to be fair, the Stormtroopers are always pristine, white and shiny. Even during the Battle of Endor, they never really get dirty and weathered. So this is really cool to see. And obviously at this point in the Star Wars timeline, the Empire is crumbling, it's falling apart, and the same can be said for the armour of the Imperial Stormtrooper. So this is really cool to see, and the way that Hasbro have executed this figure again adds so much depth and realism to what is essentially a plastic toy. Now, where that depth and realism really comes into play is with regards to the weathering on the armour, which as you can see is really layered up. It's not simply painted or printed. You've got different shades of dirt in all these patches on the armour, and again it just looks absolutely incredible. Now, I'm not entirely sure whether or not the weathering is unique for each Stormtrooper released in the Black Series. I know a few years ago during the Clone Wars line that Hasbro would apply unique weathering to each of their trooper figures so that no one figure was the same. I'm guessing that the weathering on the armour is printed in the same place on all of these figures, but I may be mistaken on that. It would be really cool if these are each unique with regards to the weathering. It would really diversify the ranks a little bit, I think. But that weathering itself is, again, absolutely fantastic. Really nice and crisply applied. Even though they are mere paint applications, they don't look out of place. They look realistic, which is cool to see. And the armour of the figure as well also has this yellow tint to it, which again just really goes a long way to make this one look dirty, weathered and old and decrepit, which I absolutely love. Now, in terms of accessories, this figure does only come with the one. He comes with his Imperial E11 blaster rifle, which is a brand new sculpt, again unique to this brand new and updated Stormtrooper. We do have the flashlight on the barrel there, which we first saw in Rogue One. And unfortunately, and I know this is probably screen accurate, but there is no holster on the belt to store the blaster when it's not in use, which is a little bit of a shame in my opinion. However, for the most part, this guy is going to be on display on my shelf with his blaster in hand. So it's not a major issue for me personally, but it is something that's probably worth pointing out. Now, with regards to articulation, this guy is packed to the brim, and one of the things I really like about this brand new Stormtrooper sculpt is the fact that it is so incredibly lifelike, and that is partly due to the articulation itself and the proportions of the figure, which have been captured really well. One of the things that really goes a long way in achieving that is the fact that Hasbro are indeed including these human, unpainted heads underneath the helmets, which you can just see there. And that really allows this figure to look nice and accurate proportionally, which is really cool to see. So in terms of articulation, we do get a ball joint at the head. Like with most updated Black Series figures, we do have a ball joint in the head itself and at the base of the neck, so you can get some really nice fluid motion out of that. We've got butterfly joints and hinges at the shoulders, so again, great articulation, and he can hold his blaster really well. You can get this guy some really cool poses with that. Hinges at the elbows, which do go a little bit further up, and again, really assist in the figure holding onto his blaster rifle. We have hinges at the wrists as well, a nice fluid ball joint at the torso, and one thing that is really cool about this one is the fact that the chest armor is a completely separately sculpted piece, which doesn't hinder any of that articulation, which is awesome to see. We also have hinges at the hips, a swivel cut at the upper thigh, a hinge in the knee with no pins visible, which is always cool, and we also have hinges and a rocker at the ankle. Now, I will point out the joints on this figure are a little bit tight, especially in the arms. I'm guessing that's because this figure, at the time of filming this review, is fresh out of the box, so I haven't had a lot of time to, wear him out as such. But it is an absolutely stunning figure. Again, you can get him in some really cool poses. The articulation really creates a real lifelike look for this guy, and he is just a stunning looking figure. Definitely, and I've said this about several figures recently, but definitely has that shelf presence in terms of his overall look. So I am really impressed with this one. And before we wrap up this review, we will do a quick comparison with some of the other Stormtrooper figures from the Black Series that share this incredible sculpt. So here is the Remnant Stormtrooper alongside his Imperial brethren. On the left we have the initial release of the updated Stormtrooper in the Black Series, and on the right we have the Incinerator Trooper, which we'll be taking a look at in my next review. As I said, I'm a huge fan of this new and improved Stormtrooper sculpt. The proportions are fantastic, the details are nice and crisp, and I can't wait for Hasbro to milk this sculpt dry and give us so many unique and cool Stormtrooper repaints. One of the things that I really want to see in the future is the artillery or mortar Stormtrooper that we saw in Season 2 of The Mandalorian, which is a simple repaint of the Incinerator Trooper. And I'd love them to go back and update the Sand Trooper, the Stormtrooper Commander from The Force Unleashed. There's a plethora of different Imperial troops that Hasbro could release using this incredible sculpt. So Hasbro, if you're listening, please give us all the troops. I'd love to see it. And again, if you're looking to increase your Imperial ranks, the Remnant Stormtrooper is a great addition. So that is going to wrap up this review. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I will be back, as I mentioned, with the Incinerator Trooper from the Black Series in my next review. So stay tuned for that, and until next time, as always, thank you for watching, keep collecting, and may the Force be with you.